Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Nadlan, broadcasting to you from the East Coast of New York with daily updates from real estate entrepreneurs so you can become one yourself. And today we have post number 4 from our Entrepreneur of the Week, entrepreneurs Yoav, Lavee, and Haim Mamane, about disposition, finding buyers and marketing the property or the contract. They specialize in wholesaling real estate, virtual wholesaling, which means you don't even need to leave your house and sell houses. So if you've been wondering who we are Nadlan. We are providing real estate courses, mentoring, financing, deal analysis, and great deal offerings for you guys. You feel free to check us out. If you like our content, of course, gives us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you can get daily updates from us. And you can check us out on forumrealestateusa.com and on Facebook and on social and everywhere else. So let's jump into the post. All right, guys, we are ready for post number 4, disposition, finding buyers and marketing the property or the contract. All right, and again, reminding you, we're talking about virtual wholesaling. So after we have learned how we can solve a problem and come up with sellers to agree on a purchase price below the market price, the next step, of course, will be to put the house under contract and then sell the contract to the final buyer. Because at the end of the day, we need to get paid. One of the great advantages of wholesalers is that we do not actually buy and sell the property, but sell the contract for a commission, assignment fee, to a final buyer, who will usually be an investor, entrepreneur who wants to flip, improvement, or an investor who wants to buy the property for rent, as a rental. The buyers we want to target will be buyers who can buy in cash and close quickly. It is important that we know how to price our contract in a way that will leave profitability for the final buyer, the investor, so that we can sell the contract in the fastest way. The more correctly we price the deal, the more we can maximize our profitability, and also the faster we can move the contract. So before we talk about the whole process of selling to the final buyer, disposition, it is important to talk about some important things. Number 1, contract with the seller. It is very important that in the contract with the seller, we have a clause that allows us to sell the contract to another buyer, a signable contract. In addition, in most cases, we will sign a contract before our person on the ground has physically seen the property. It is therefore important to have an exit clause like inspection contingency, so that if something is found in the condition of the property that changes for us the price, we can pay for the property. In such a case, we can always withdraw from the deal or talk to the property owner again about the price reduction. Number 2, photos and video of the property. After we have signed a contract, we will send the boots on the ground, our person on the ground, that will take as many pictures of the property as possible. The good, the bad, and the ugly, from all angles and from all directions, including some videos, so we can make sure the condition of the property matches the description of the seller that the seller gave us. For us, and the estimate of the renovation cost does not exceed what we thought. The photos and videos are important because they are the ones that will be used by us in marketing the property to the potential buyers. It is important for us to show the property exactly as it is, for better or for worse, in order to save everyone less time and effort later on with visits to the property. Number 3, tailor-friendly title company. Not all title companies know how to work with wholesalers. In the end, our transactions are non-standard and it's important for them to know how to work with us. It's important that the title companies will decide to know how to work with assignment fees and contract and double closing. So double closing is one of the main closing strategies for wholesaler. We have seen many times how inexperienced title companies can knock down the deal. So it's really important to find a good one that can work with double closing. So after we have dealt with all these issues, it is time to look for potential buyers for our deal. Let's talk about where to find this type of buyers. Number one, real estate agents. There are many real estate agents who work with investors and they can connect you to their investors. Of course, for a fee. The agent will receive their commission from the buyer or from you depending on your summary with the broker. There are lots of ways to find these agents, but the way we like is to go to realtor.com and look for highly likely renovated properties invested by investors in the same area of your deal and just contact the agent who represented the seller and ask them if their investor would be interested in another project in that area. Number two, examination of all the assets sold in the last 3 to 6 months in cash and to reach the broker who handled the transaction, or alternatively to reach the buyers themselves through script tracing. Number three, area-specific Facebook groups. Almost every area in the United States has groups of investors or wholesalers. A quick search for real estate investors and the city and the name will take you to 3 to 5 groups in the local area. A lot of wholesalers will post their deals there, and a lot of potential buyers will leave their email. Contact the relevant players. Number four, collaborate with a local wholesaler. If you are just starting out, you can contact a local wholesaler and leverage its buyer list for percentage of the transaction margin. This will shorten the process significantly for you, but of course you will have to share the profit. Number five, buy lists. There are list providers like ListSource and PropStream that you can buy a list of active buyers in the area of your deal. You can ship a trace to these buyers and contact them in an SMS or cold call campaigns and ask them if they are interested in your deal. Once you have a list of potential buyers, you want to send them basic details about the property, a link to photos and videos of the property, and the asking price. If you have interested buyers, they will want to see the property before they make a decision. You will need to coordinate access to the property. If the property is empty, it is very simple, and we usually ask for a key to the property from the seller and the lockbox. If the property is populated, it will be more challenging, and we will have to coordinate a visit with our boots on the ground to make sure there is no communication between the potential buyer and the seller and then attempt to bypass us in the deal and get us out of the picture. It is very important to properly filter our buyers. The last thing we want is to close with a buyer who will eventually not be able to reach the closing table. This will put us in a very unpleasant situation with the seller when we will not be able to close on the property and ask for an extension at best. And at worst, we may also lose the deal. Questions, test. We would like to find out with our buyer before entering under a contract with them. Number one, the amount of assets and the type of asset he has bought in the last 6 to 12 months. We would have preferred to avoid working with brand new players if possible. Number two, of course, he needs to see the property before we get any kind of offer from him. Number three, non-refundable earnest money. We will always ask for a non-refundable deposit on our transaction, which will range between $3,000 to $5,000, which must be deposited within 48 hours of signing the contract. Any buyer who wishes to reduce the amount, extend time, or request that it be a repeat deposit should light a red light for us regarding the intentions and level of seriousness of the buyer. Number 4, the contract concluded with the same buyer will be non-assignable in order to prevent him from transferring it to a third party. We sign the contract electronically through platforms such as HelloSign, DocuSign, SignNow, etc. We will transfer the 2 contracts we have, one with the seller and the other with the buyer, to the title company that will be responsible for closing the deal. The title company, an experienced company working with wholesalers, will know how to conduct the transaction in the best way for both the seller and the buyer. It is always important to stay in continuous contact with the seller and also with the buyer on the closing stage. And of course, it is important to be in continuous contact with the title company. So, the closing day, money in the bank. Here we have reached the sweeter stage of the transaction, where the title company transfers the commission in wire to our bank account. At the end of the day, we talked to a seller we had never met. We offered a price for a property we had never been seen. We found a buyer we had never seen and received money for a property we never owned. All a virtual tale that can be done from anywhere in the world, virtual as it gets. Tomorrow, we will share with you a case study on a deal we recently closed in which we made $31,000 in a short time. Feel free to ask questions, and as much as possible, promise to answer them all. So we have a picture here of Show Me the Money. All right, guys. So this is the post of the day, and we're excited to see you all tomorrow. We will be with you with post number 5. And have a good rest of your day today, and we will see you tomorrow.